Group radio stations. This is the Sportcat Show, uncovering secret chapters, strange encounters,
and the occasional technical mishap.
And that's what just happened. Technical mishap. So I'm going to give everybody a moment to catch up to where we are, because we're not where we're supposed to be. I don't know what happened. It totally went crazy. So we are going to be setting. I sent the link to the co-hosts, and I don't know what the hell just happened. Let me go over here and bring Harley in. Harley, we had technical difficulties, so I think we're up and running in Australia, so that's good. And Anne is backstage, so she got the new link. So Jesus Christ. Talk about stressing me out. Okay. So everybody, I appreciate your patience during the technical difficulty in the late start. We are live in Australia. Good morning in Perth. It's 10 a.m. 1 in the afternoon in Sydney. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for tuning in with us and catching up with us. I appreciate it. And it's WZQR and WRFN as well. Tonight we have two guests, as always. Our first guest, Anne, well, she's been here a time or two before, and we kind of like having her around, so we invited her back with her new book. So let me bring her out. Hello, Anne. How are you?
Hi. Doing great. Thanks.
So sorry that the studio went totally nuts.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I've had stuff like that happen before, so I'm glad it's just not me, the only one that has that happen. So
I figure you were probably backstage
well,
in the other studio.
It kept holding, and then I could see your chats, and I was thinking, am I not doing it? So I sent a private chat just thinking, well, I am here. I don't know what's going on, but it's all good. We're in, and here we go.
Yeah, we're here. So, Anne, how are you? Let me catch up. Okay, so some of the chat caught us. Here's Chris. Welcome, Chris. Chris, tell everybody we got lost. So, how are you, Anne? We've got a lot of catching up to do. You wrote a new book.
Uh-huh.
I understand your cats are gaining popularity, more popular than you.
They are. Those dang cats are such camera hams too. So yeah, the cats are getting as much play as I am anymore. And yeah, I got an interview request and they said, and pictures of your cats. So I was like, wait a second, what's going on here?
You don't like me?
Yeah, it's not so much me, and the cats. Make sure you include them. So yeah, that's fun though. They're great. I actually had one of them out here for a bit, but he started getting whiny, and so I took him back in the house and said, "You're out, not today."
Gotcha. So you got a brand new book, and now is this one in the same series, or is this a different series from the last?
This is the Dig Site Mystery Series, and that is different from the Deadwood. So this is it's book 3 in this series. It takes place down in the Yucatán. Maya dig sites. It's kind of my Indiana Jones, supernatural, all that good stuff together. So it's a lot of fun for me, but it's also a lot of research. So I spend it takes me about a month or two longer to write this book because every scene takes a lot of time away from the keyboard just to research and make sure I get all this great Maya information correct so I can share it with readers, but then weave fiction all around it. My hair keeps dipping in my eyes. It's like, get out of the way.
Yeah, so that is a lot of research. Have you ever been down there in person, or?
In a couple weeks I will be.
Ooh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous.
Yeah, no, not. I've watched so many videos. I've been to Mexico a few times, but I hadn't been to that particular area yet. But yeah, we'll be heading down and doing some research for book 4, which will happen in about 3 or 4 books from now. But I want to get this going.
Yeah. Well, I read somewhere you were going to try and get another book out this year. Is that happening?
No, because it took so long with that dig site book, with Chewed Up by the Jungle. And then I had some family stuff come in November. So all my plans to get going have kind of gotten pushed back with family and real life, stepping in. But I am starting this month, getting into the 7th Jackrabbit book, getting rolling on that. And just going to hope to have a busy 2026.
Yeah, no kidding. You're still co-authoring with your husband, right?
Yes, and that's one of the books for 2026 that we're working on, the 6th book. I'm starting to lose track of numbers now.
That's what I was going to ask. How many do you have all total there? This new Jackrabbit book, the book 7 that I'm writing, is the 40th book. It will be my 40th published book. So, yeah, it's starting to get, I need to have a little thing on my wall that says book such and such, you are working on book, such Maybe you
and
could do one of those OSHA signs, number of days since last book published.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm excited with this new, to go back to the desert. It's fun, but the jungle was a blast. And I'm pointing at that guy. It was so much fun. And I learned so much every time I do that, book in that series, because there is so much research. And I really like to try to weave real, history with some supernatural ideas and what ifs, and then, the fiction mixed in as well with the characters that we all know.
Now, I know you did a lot of research, as you were saying. Any little teasers you want to give to anybody that might not have picked it up yet?
Well, there's a lot of fun with kind of creepy fun with butterflies, of all things. So, yeah, when you start digging into the lore or mythology of different, civilizations, butterflies are quite, something. They play quite a role in several, and they were big in the Maya world. So it was fun with that. And you can order the print book from my online store, and I actually got some butterfly wrapping paper, and fun stuff that goes out with it, just to kind of, if kind of when you open the book,
Cool. Little butterfly fly out at you when you.
Wouldn't that be neat? You open it and out flies the butterfly. So, I'd probably cause an accident, so that's probably not a good idea.
You'd have to put a warning label on it, or the lawyers would get you.
Exactly. Be cautious when you open this. Yeah.
Open at your
Hi,
own
Brenda.
I don't
know if you, I don't know if you've met Harley. If you've met Ann, I can't remember if she was helping co-host. She's picked up and helped me while my other co-host decided to go have lives and get jobs and.
What are they thinking?
I don't understand it.
Nobody gets to have lives anymore. Come on.
Yeah. So, but Harley is my new co-host, and she's wonderful. She is my avid reader. She amazes me. She will have read the books. I don't know if you've had a chance to read hers yet.
No, I haven't, but I will.
She's like read them right before the show, and I'm like, how do you do this? I can't read one book a year.
Well, you got to think this week I've worked both my jobs almost every day. So,
yeah, you get to it when you can.
Yeah,
life happens.
Yeah, no kidding. So,
but I do read all of our guest books.
Oh,
we have some catching up. She's got 40. So,
yeah.
You don't have to read them all. You could just read one if you want. And I do try.
No, I'll probably read all 40 because last week I did 11 in a week.
Wow. I love it. I love it. I used to read a lot more like that before I started writing. And then now writing takes all of my time, plus the marketing. Before we got on, I was working on, I have a Patreon page now. So I'm trying to do really fun stuff for the Patreon folks that's unique to that's not on Facebook, that's not on anywhere. And then also there's YouTube that I'm building too. And so I have stuff that's just for YouTube people. So the whole social media, this whole AI and you can clone yourself, there's a part of me that's saying, oh yeah, I need some help here.
And I still have to get caught up on my, what is it called? The books that you get beforehand, before the author releases it.
Oh, the pre-release. I can't.
Pre-release.
No, it's like
boy, I just
you know what I'm talking about. Those
Arc.
yeah, my arcs.
Yeah. So, is the one you've got now the new one? Is it a good place to jump on, or do you have a lot of reference to the backstory that you need to know?
I try to write every book so that you don't have to read the previous books. However, it does enrich the story if you read the previous ones. I will try to introduce concepts in later books and just do a paragraph or so reference back to give you, in case you haven't read or you can't remember, what you read a year ago. Then it'll help you, refresh you. Oh yeah, that's what this whole plot is about. And then I'll go on. So I try not to spend a lot of time backstorying it, but I do give enough to try to help, like I said, if you've, especially like the Deadwood series is 14 long, and there are plots that I'm pulling strings from way back, in the early books. And so I need to give you a little heads up on what we're talking about here and what the situation was. So I do that. And it's the same with this third dig site book. If you start with one, it's always the most fun because you get the whole, some of the arcs at the very beginning instead of the whole series arc, but you can jump in. And I have had some different arc readers and reviewers jump into book 3. And it's really cool because they've written to me and said, I wasn't sure how this would go because I started at your third book, but I enjoyed it and I loved it. Even though I hadn't read the first 2, it was still, a great time. So I'm doing the job right, I believe.
You must be to have 40. And you've got a pretty loyal following too, I see.
I do. I have wonderful readers that hang out with me and they come to book signings or I have a Deadwood event thing I do every year in Deadwood, South Dakota. And they'll come to that. A lot of them, a lot of regulars. We've done it for 11, 12 years, something now. Some years are bigger with more events. Some years are more, low key, but we do, have little get-togethers. I do online book signings for those who can't make it. So I'll sit there and, you order ahead of time. I'll write what you want in it and I'll do it while you're watching me and then talk to you a little bit and then go on to the next as if you're standing in front of me. So I do that too. And I try to, like I said, I have this whole, I realized last year, at the end of last year, 2024, that my page, the Facebook algorithm, all that stuff was starting to work against me. It was really hard to reach people. So that's when I thought, okay, we've got to shift things. I am also doing some on TikTok to try to build that. I'm just, there's a lot to juggle, but I'm trying to move away from Facebook and Instagram just a little, where I used to spend all my time there, and really devote to, like I said, Patreon. And I have free people over there, or you can be in tiers. And if you're in the different levels, some of those you can get the book chapter by chapter as I write. So I'm just, and then the YouTube, I have some ideas. I've done a lot of shorts, like 3 minutes or less, just checking in with everybody. And because of these wonderful podcasts like yours that I've been on, I've gotten used to talking to myself in my camera, and just saying, this is what's going on. It's like me in the morning looking in the mirror, when I wake up and talk to myself anyway about what's going on. So it's not much different, just, not in my pajamas. But
weren't you the one that told me about Wednesday waffles?
Yeah, I think I did. Wednesday waffles. I hadn't heard of that before.
Are you on Patreon under your name?
Let me go over. I'm in here working right now. So let me go out to it. I believe it's just Ann W. Charles. Or no, Ann Charles. Patreon, Ann Charles. That's it.
Well,
I can post the link maybe can I post the link? I can only do private, but I could put it in private.
I found you.
Okay, good. I was going to say I could post it, but so yeah. And that's just, like I said, it's something I'm building. And I'm going to do more of in 2026. I really kind of started all this. I tried Kickstarter in 2025 for an audiobook, and that went well. So I'm going to do more Kickstarter stuff with audiobooks, even though I know audios don't go as big as like print books and some other
huge.
stuff.
Okay, Chris, I didn't say I read 11 books. I said I listened. Well, I listened to 11 books here in this last week because I have ADHD and autism. So for me to sit and read the book, I reread the same paragraph like 12 times.
Yes, right, right.
But to listen to it, I comprehend it better than I do reading it.
Well, I do have the Dig Site series. I have all the books except the newest one, Chewed Up, are out in audiobooks. So you can find them either on my website, in my online store, or out there and around wherever online. So you can listen that way too. And they're ebooks, they're print books. We try to mix it up. I don't have Chewed Up in audio yet because that's one of the Kickstarters we're going to do early next year. And it was a lot of fun coming up with cool, reward level prizes, or I don't know if they're prizes, but you can come in and say, oh, I want the $30 reward level. And then you get these extra bonus swag things. And so we had a great time doing that with Hip Deep in Bad Company audiobook, and it worked great. So that's why we're going to do it again for Chewed Up. It's an opportunity for the fans to get really neat promo gifts. Because my brother does my art and we own it, then I have just so much wonderful, amazing art that I can use on swag. It's really awesome. So yeah, it makes it more fun. All that we can do. So just keep trying. I'm trying all kinds of different stuff to mix it up.
Have you got the same, I guess, voice actor for each book, or do you change it up?
We do. No, we stick to the, well, I mean, like for the Undertaker series, Jason Culp, he's amazing. He does all of those. Carolyn Schaefer does my Deadwood Mystery series. Lisa
I've
Larson.
listened to a few books that Carolyn's done.
Yeah.
I don't like I've like the last series that I just listened to, it was AI generated and it was horrible.
Yeah, see, we're still doing, and that's part of the reason for Kickstarter is it to get real people. It's not cheap. These guys are professionals, of course. You have to pay for the good stuff, and so we want to do that. And so a lot of times, if we can do like a Kickstarter and we get part of the money up front, then it's not about trying to earn out at a low royalty rate, because with a lot of these companies, the authors make that much money off the total book. So it takes us a long time to make up costs. Where if I did, with the Kickstarter, we had it cost mostly paid. And so then it's just, we can get it all done. We can get it out to you. And we're not spending all this time just hoping to make up the cost of this thing. It's not even about profit. It's just, trying to get really high quality audiobooks out there to everybody and make it more fun. And yes, my books are on Kindle. Someone asked me, I just saw that in the feed. So yeah, they're Kindle, and I have the Dig Site series. The first two are on Kindle Unlimited. Everything else is just Kindle.
I have them on my Kindle now.
Oh, thank you. I have to switch my ear things because I think I put them in backwards. They keep falling out. So anyway, that's me in technology right there.
Yeah. What with doing all this with the social media and trying to write, what's a typical day like for you? I mean, you start early, start late, or
no? And since now we're in the winter and it doesn't get light until 7:30-ish, I have gotten into the bad habit of staying up till about 1 or 2 a.m. and then rolling out of bed about 8:30. And in the summer, down here in Arizona, we get sun at like 4:30 in the morning. So we're up super early, but now we're in winter mode and it's pretty sad. I was telling my husband the other day, I think 10 o'clock appointments are now too early. I need to push them back further because I'm staying way up into the night. And a lot of it is just, there's so much marketing that has to be done, social media, all the different things to be out there for us. And unless you wonder if you're fortunate enough to be able to pay for someone to be doing it all, that's really awesome. And I do have help, but there's still so much that has to be me talking to people. So it's real. It's not just canned stuff. I'm really here. And you can tell I'm not AI because I constantly screw up. Like I just put up a YouTube check-in video and I had to do it 3 times because I kept going over the 3-minute mark and getting cut off. So the third time I just let myself, I got cut off again. And I just put a little thing at the end that said, I got cut off because it's like, I can't make this work for some reason tonight. So, I screw up and that's the real deal. I figure you're not getting AI perfection with me. You're getting the real deal in all ways. So expect there to be a little bit of, human reality mess up in this.
Makes us human. Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. And a lot of my books are humor. I mean, I have every book just about has a strong humor plot blended in. So I feel like this is just part of my, brand is technology problems, all kinds of stuff. That's my characters. So it works out well.
Yeah, with some of these topics, how do you blend the humor in? How do you keep on point while trying to add the humor in? Is that hard?
Sometimes it can be a little harder, but I can tell you when I write a chapter, a scene, I can feel if the humor's off, if it's not there. I mean, it's been almost 40 books now. So I can feel that this is not hitting the mark that I'm aiming for. So then you go back and rework it. It's like I've seen comedians that have talked about that where they keep trying the joke and trying to land it and trying to get the tone right and the words just right. And then finally they land it just right, but they test it out. And it's that kind of a thing only on the page. You're reading through, it's not quite landing right. It's not funny enough. It needs to be, add a little bit more. So, and sometimes the scenes are not super humorous, but if you can add a little line in that just lightens it up a little bit. And usually there's characters that are the humor characters that, when I get on scene with so-and-so, I know we're going to have this funny thing happen. Where if I get on scene with this other person, I know this is the kind of humor we're going to do. Like in the Dig Site series, the hero and heroine are Quint and Angélica, and they have some real snappy banter back and forth. So I know when the two of them are together, we're going to be flirty, but snappy and having fun. But then when I'm with another character that's in there, then the humor is going to shift in how it's delivered, and what we're doing. So it's just something with time I've gotten to where I can just feel that kind of a thing, I guess.
You let your characters kind of guide you a little bit too, don't you? As you're going
through. I have always start out with a high level outline. It's like the structure is there. So I know we have a good solid build that to, start from. And then I just let them go and we have fun, and what comes, I love it when it surprises me. I didn't know this was going to happen. And here we are, we had this happen. So that's a lot of fun. I always enjoy that. Otherwise, I think storytelling would get stale for me. I know there's diehard authors that write hundreds, 200 books, and it's a lot of work. I mean, that's amazing to me because 40 has been 20 years of writing, and that seems like a lot of words on the page. I don't write short books either. Mine are, 120 to 130K. So they're long reads. I wish I wrote short because I'd like to be snappier with getting books out. But the storyteller in my brain just says, sit tight. We've got a story to tell and it's going to take us a little bit, but we're going to move fast. So it's not like a slow on the page. It's just, there's a lot that's going to happen.
But those are the best books to read when the author actually takes the time to go into details and tell the story and not just skip things. That's this type of books I like to read.
I try
those ones keep you coming back to read more of the series.
Exactly. And that's what I like to read are those that we don't rush the ending. We have, even though it's in a series, these plot threads are, wrapped up, tied up, however you want to say it. And I think that's important to give it that time and make you feel like, oh, okay, we wrapped up that whole mystery we were doing, but now we have this other one pending and oh, it's exciting because we're going to go to the next book. So I think that's important. And the other thing I've been doing lately to entertain myself, for example, in Chewed Up. So they're in the jungle, they're at a dig site. The hero Quint, is taking field notes along the route. And at the start of each chapter in this book, I'm showing his notes. You can tell he's writing notes, different styles, different stuff. And at the very end, then when I wrapped up, I went through each chapter and I did like nonfiction books often do, where they have field notes listed at the end per chapter, where they'll talk about a subject that was in a chapter and then go a little bit more into it. I actually went in and I did that. Let me grab this. I did that at the end. And then my husband, he's my formatter, did this really fun thing where he formatted, I don't know if you can see how it's like notebook pages ripped out. So we do that for each chapter. There's field notes then. So if you read it again, you can go back, read the chapter, and then read the field notes to hear what Quint, the character, tells us behind the scenes about whatever they were talking about. So it just adds, I think, fun extras for readers. And I would love stuff like that in books. I did that in the last Jackrabbit series book. At the end, I came back in and showed a character behind the scenes. I showed you the dates and times when she was doing this extra stuff to solve a different mystery that at the very end, we find out she'd solved. But you don't know how she solved it. And then you read the extra, the epilogue, and you watch her go, there's like 6 or 7 scenes where we show, pages of stuff where it shows how she was behind the scenes doing all this stuff. And nobody realized it until the very end when she said, I've solved this too.
Ooh.
So it's fun for me. Yeah, it's just like, I think of it at movies. You know how in movies, sometimes you sit and you wait through the credits and then you see extra stuff that comes through. It's like that. You finish the book and then you get the extras. That's really fun. And they're not 100% necessary, but they add so much fun, I think, to the world. So I'm doing that stuff now too, plus writing. There's an extra scene that if you order the book from me in print, or if you're part of my Patreon paying group, you get a bonus scene that falls between the penultimate and the last chapter. And it just goes into a little bit more detail on some stuff it's not 100% necessary, but it's fun extra and gives you a little more insight on things. So I have that. So anybody that, like, we did a book signing and I went through all the books I ordered, which I didn't expect to. We ran out of books because you get the bonus scene, and we printed out. My husband did a whole little mini booklet of the bonus scene. We call it the lost chapter. And you get that too. So we're just starting to, now that we're up in, 40 and up books, have more fun and do more for the readers to give them more adventure, kind of fun with the books.
Keeps you connected to them too. I mean,
right. Yeah. It's for the reader. I mean, this is all just, we are nothing without readers. This
like
job
once you build that loyal fan base, they keep coming back.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, without those guys to support me sitting here in my office, making up crazy stuff in my head, I don't know what I'd do. So I'm so grateful
that we have our loyal fan base.
Yeah. Yes. Right. So I want to do anything I can to keep them happy, because they're keeping me so that I can stay up till 2 a.m. and not make 10 o'clock appointments because it's too early. Without them, I used to do work. I worked for, 25 years at a business. So I don't want to go back to that. I want to keep doing these crazy hours and telling stories. It's way more fun.
It's your passion.
Yeah, definitely. I stumbled into that. So yeah, I didn't plan on this. It's just kind of hit me.
What you're going to do when you grow up.
Exactly.
It just took a while. Yeah, that's great, because like I was saying, it reminded me, it's kind of like you're breaking that fourth wall with them. And like I said, they're getting something extra at the same time. So it's kind of like, what do they call the popular thing, 3D chess now or something like that. Yeah, exactly. I have one time when I wrote deleted scene. No, what is it when actors screw up? They screw up in the, and they show where they're
deleted scene, bloopers.
I did bloopers off one of the Jackrabbit books where they're talking to me, or I'm there, like we're in a scene and I show it just like you read in the book. And then one of them says the wrong stuff and I cut in and I says, Anne said, "What are you doing? That's not what I wrote." And, they get back with me and we go back and forth. I did bloopers for one of these Jackrabbit Junction books because I thought that'd be fun to do. Let's do bloopers. And I didn't know how I'd do that.
That sounds amazing.
with a book, but I did it, and then I had it. It's an extra you can get, which reminds me, I should to share that with people on Patreon, because I don't think a lot of them probably haven't seen that, because that was like 5-6 years ago that I did that. But yeah, I always want to do extra stuff, and a lot of it's for the readers, but it's also because it's really entertaining to me, and I would love something like that.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
And I've never thought about an author doing that. And that's kind of cool. Because I'm picturing, like in comic books, Deadpool does something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever read any Deadpool, but he'll like stop in the middle of a art page and he'll be like, "What are you doing? That's not what I'm doing here."
Exactly.
To the artist.
Yeah, it's finding a way to do that. It's a challenge, I think, for the author, the artist, to deliver that. And if you can pull it off, I think it's really fun for the readers. I know anytime I've come across stuff like this, I really enjoy it. I don't see it often, but I think it's a lot of fun.
Well, as you were saying, it's so much extra work.
It is. It takes me, another week or two that I'm putting into, the lost chapter is 2 scenes long. It's not, a little thing, just a page or two. It's pages. And so it does take time to go back, and you got to be careful you don't ruin the whole regular book with this stuff, but you give the extras. The field notes in this took me a little bit longer, because I had to go back through and think about, okay, what would we talk about in relation to this chapter that happened? And what would Quint, the character, say in regards to what we were talking about in that chapter? So it's not even Anne coming in and telling you field notes, like references, authors. This is the character doing that. So how am I going to do that? And it's just a challenge that, I don't know, it keeps me entertained as an author to try these different, things.
Now, you're writing that, and your husband's not co-writing any on these, right?
He writes the Undertaker series with me. Yeah. So he's currently, today, I just wrote him before we got on, just saying, how's the writing going? Cause he's working on number 6 in that series at the moment. So we plot together, brainstorm together. Then he goes through and writes first. And then I come through after and just do my part, adding on. I think of it as building. He builds, we plan out, the drawing of the house. He builds the studs, the walls. I come in and put some paint and do, let's put these curtains in here, and just together we build the story, and see what comes. But yeah, he does a lot of that initial on the blank page, the blinking cursor stuff. So it's wonderful for me because I don't have to look at the blinking cursor much. There's words there.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Writer's, what do they call it? Writer's block, where you're just sitting there looking at the page, like, what do I put here?
Yeah. What am I going to write today?
Do you ever have writer's block?
Oh, I do. Definitely. Especially as I've gotten older, and like last year, my mom passed away and I was out for about 2 months. I just could not get my brain to tell funny fiction. It was just a hard time. And it wasn't just the grief. You're making your way through that. It's like the creative side of me kind of went away. And I was really nervous about, boy, am I going to be able to come back and write humor like I did? She was one of my first readers, always. And so part of it was sharing with her and making her laugh, and it was a shift. So I really, I gave myself permission to take some time, and then when I came back, it was like, okay, let's see if we can do this. And that was when I wrote Cops and Clobbers in Deadwood, number 14. And it was, oh my gosh, I thought it was going to be so much easier than it was, but it was tough, but that's good for me because it challenges me to write this kind of a story. It was, gosh darn it. What is it? I can't think of the kind of mystery it is. My brain's not working tonight, but anyway, it was just a style I hadn't done. And I didn't know, I thought it would be easier than it was, but in the end it wasn't, but it came out really, I enjoyed what, finally came out from it all. But I think that's part of writing growth as a writer, is to continually challenge yourself to try something new and different and see if you can make it fly. And in a long series like the Deadwood series, where there's 14 books, I try to do that with every book and use a different theme and premise and style and what are we going for here, so that when you binge them, you don't feel like this is the same book, just a new number on it, same type of thing. Everyone needs to feel a little different with the same characters. I think that's important for the binging. And I'm a binger, so I don't want the same thing over and over. I want the same characters, but I want to feel like each book has a different flow to it and feel. And yeah, I mean, Harley, you're a binger, it sounds like. So if you have the same, Hardy Boys maybe style mystery, and I'm not trying to diss them, but something like that, it's going to be, okay, I'm losing my interest, they're all, I write character driven mysteries. So that really helps too, that you're watching these characters grow and change over time.
I like that you mentioned the Hardy Boys, because as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, I think only made like 3 books in or something. Because
it was a style, right? And those are great, but after a bit,
like Nancy Drew and
Yeah.
Babysitter's Club, they were all the same
yeah,
concept, but not different.
I think if you're going to write long, you have to really work at making it feel like life. I mean, every year of your life is different. Every month is different. You could put themes to your life, and like this month, oh God, this was a bad month theme. Mercury was retrograde, and everything that could go south did, and it was just about survival. Making it till the end. And then this month was all joy, 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 and happy times and funny stuff. So it's like life. Everything switches. So every book has to feel like a day in the life of how, things change.
Now, you've got the series that, like, once you said on, this is 3 and 15's coming out on the other. Have you ever thought about doing a total separate one? Like,
I have thought about, I've got a couple other series I'd like to write, but I don't have time because wonderfully, I have the problem that the readers, when I'm writing a book and delivering, as soon as I put it out, I'll get, when is the next such and such coming? And I get emails, when is the next Deadwood series coming? When's Undertaker? I've been waiting for Undertaker. I love this book. When is the next Morgan Sisters and Jackrabbit Junction? I've been waiting for that. So, and in the last few years, because of, like I said, my mom passed away, my dad almost did, I've had breaks. So these poor readers have had to wait a little bit longer. But thankfully, there's a ton of authors out there that write really great books. So, and I've got a lot of author friends that I'll say, have you checked out so-and-so? While I'm writing and trying to get my, buns back going, you might want to check out so-and-so because she's really funny too and writes great stories. So I always think of it, authors shouldn't think of it as we're competing against each other for sales. I think of it, we are joining together to provide multiple, entertainment things for readers. So I need all my author friends because I don't want to write 24/7. I want to enjoy my life too, and live a little.
That's a good point. Do you have any authors, if you want to drop names, that's okay, that you really enjoy as much as some of your fans enjoy yours?
The problem I have is I don't read what I write. I love historical romance. I love to watch sci-fi movies. I don't really want to watch historical romance so much, but I want to read it. But I want to watch sci-fi movies. And I'm really disappointed that there's not more sci-fi constantly coming out because I love those. And so it's like I love adventure too, movies. So it's really weird. I don't read a lot of what I write. The mystery, I see mystery subgenres in other shows like a science fiction, and then I pull that in. And really my books are not just mystery, but I had to throw something on it to fit it on a shelf, or a virtual shelf. So mystery is kind of where the main focus often is, but they're really mixed genre. I mean, I have supernatural down in the jungle with history, because there's a lot of Maya history. a lot of humor. There's some romance. So I just throw those all together. And then I go, and it's a mystery too, by the way, because they want you, publishers or different sellers want to say, well, what do you write? And you have to try to explain to somebody. It's easier just to say it's a sort of mystery, but not a cozy. I don't write cozies. And I have nothing against cozies, but these have language in them.
Not a big fan of cozies myself. I like dark romance, and
that's what I'm gritty. I always say I'm like gritty, blue collar, mixed up mystery,
but
romance,
those books are
supernatural.
awesome though. I like those type of books. So I'm
And
gonna really like your books when I
well, I
start
hope you
reading them.
do. I hope you do, Harley. And there's a lot. And I also work at having crossover characters. The hero in this is the brother of the heroine, Violet Parker, in the Deadwood series. And they're neighbors of the three sisters from the Jackrabbit series. They all grew up next to each other. And the Jackrabbit series sister's cousin is the best friend of Violet in the Deadwood series. And she goes
So
back and
basically, to
forth.
start at the first series.
I
That's
actually have
great.
on my website, I have listed all the books out by series, but I also have listed out by time order, because there are times like right now, Deadwood Mystery and Jackrabbit are running like this. So Natalie is the cousin that's the best friend. She just left Deadwood to go down south. So now I'm writing that book in the Jackrabbit series with her down there. So you can read the books in time order, or you can read them in series order. It's up to you. Because of that crossover, I also list by time. So if you like to jump between series and just watch, you can do that too. It's really up to you. I like that as a binger. I love that because I want to binge a series and the other stuff, and then I want to binge watching the crossover stuff and who's where and what's going on. So I try to keep that in mind too.
You sure you don't do comic books? There's a lot of that in there.
I know it's really cool. It's one of the really neat things I enjoy about that genre is, how they do the crossover and how your characters can be over here and then they're back.
Well,
And I think it's fun.
that's like the Vampire Diaries, because I'm a big fan of that. They did the Vampire Diaries in the originals, then they did the other one that was like the daughter of it, and now they're talking about doing another spinoff of that.
See, yeah, I think if it's well done, it's so much fun. If
Yeah,
you
I
love
like
the
books like that.
characters, and that's the thing is, like all these books that I work on, they're character driven. It's sometimes it's more, what is the purpose of this dig site? Like this one, the main question is, what the heck happened in the past at this dig site? Because I create the dig sites in these books. I build my own because I didn't want to use like Chichen Itza and all those that are already there that have their own real history. I wanted to create my own sites set in a certain time in the Maya past, different, whether it's a classic period, post-classic, whatever, and then create the story of the site, and then create the fiction story that happened over my fiction site story. So they take a little bit longer. Like I said, I have to build some stuff for that, but it makes it really fun for me to do my job.
I was going to say, if Violet and Angelica walked into a bar, they would not get into a fight. They would know each other.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's what's fun is when you bring in a character from another series and seeing how, but keep them in their character as they were in the others and just have them set them in a new place. And it's a lot of fun to see how they blend in and what mixes, And then I've also in some books, like in book 2 of Make No Bones About It of this series, I introduced a character named Maverick. And he's actually in like the second book I ever wrote that's shelved. He has his own story. And one of these days I want to write that series. So I've already built in where he's part of, he knows this crew. So I've already, seeded it for another one. So
I was going to say, do you have a big encyclopedia where you keep all this? Or
I have a wonderful reader, and now there's multiples, but she came to me back when I was just like 5 books in total and said, oh, I've read some of your books. I'd love to help you if you keep track of details. Like eye color, hair, clothes, cologne, perfume, all that stuff and more. And so she goes through the books when I'm done and she puts them in this huge OneNote I have for each series. And so I can go back and go, wow, what is it that's, they said or what? So when you do series, it's very important, keeping bingers in mind, that you don't bungle up something that you set in place about a person or a thread, whatever. You need to be spot on because bingers are smart and they catch it. And there's nothing, as a binger myself, there's nothing that's more annoying than when, hey, this isn't what it was 2 books ago. Something happened here and we changed eye color, we changed this, and there's no reasoning for it. So it's so important, I think, that you keep track of all details like that and deliver to make this, when they read the series, listen, it's seamless. It's just, they sink into the world totally and it's real, all the characters are real.
I like that. Yeah. So you've got, and when you do the Deadwood, you've got your own little con. So.
Yes, it's fun. The cool thing about Deadwood is it's really a town. I mean, I grew up there a lot and I still go there all the time. I have friends, family there. And so I used any public building, library, whatever. There's a lot of public buildings. I've used them in the story. They are, part of the characters of the setting. And you can go there and you can go to the different places and see where the characters go for this or where they go to the library or here's this building I talked about. And I use the building because it's a public building. I can talk about it and describe it as is. And so you can go to Deadwood, South Dakota, lead the whole surrounding area and follow what you've read about in the books and see it all. It's there. So it brings it to life even more, which is so much fun. I love being able to use a real setting with the real landmarks for a lot of it.
And with you mix in a lot of the paranormal with this.
Yeah.
Have you mixed in things that you've actually had happen or?
I have mixed in things that people have told me. I now have this wonderful thing that happens that people come to me and they tell me ghost stories that they've experienced. And it's awesome. I love hearing that. So I've blended stuff like that. I know, like I said, using the real buildings in Deadwood where everything's haunted. I swear there it had such a rough past, violence and, stuff that has happened that there's a lot of ghosts all around. So blending in what I've learned about the history with ghosts people talk about, there's a little boy ghost that's in, I think, the hospital or the opera house up in Lean. So use that. Here's this little boy ghost, that everybody has stories about. So yeah, I've experienced some crazy stuff. I'm more, but I am not a full on, I'm more of a dud, but yet now I've experienced stuff, I think, because I've opened up to listening and watching and paying attention more, maybe. So yeah, there's some fun supernatural stuff that I've been able to put in. And the Maya, the dig site series, oh my gosh, the Maya had so much in their mythology with all these wonderful paranormal like beings. And with that whole series, the idea is, what if the Maya mythology was based on true creatures they saw and dealt with at their time? And what if they're real? Some of these wild and scary things that they talk about, what if it's all real, and they were there, those beings and gods were really there, and demons that they had. So it's fun that way to explore that idea.
It is, yeah. Because, well, we don't know. We weren't there.
Yeah, maybe something really happened and then they've gone back away for now and they're going to come back again. Who knows?
Yeah.
It depends on your beliefs.
That's a lot of it. Yes. Now, do you believe in the ghosts and stuff?
I didn't used to so much. Like Violet in my Deadwood Mystery series started out not, but now she does. And now I'm that way. I've had so many things happen, wild and crazy things dealing with people, mediums and stuff that I've worked with that surrounding me even. So now, yeah, I tend to, I believe it far more. Are there some that maybe are going over the top? Maybe, but I don't know. I think we each have different levels of openness. I don't know if I want to open up too much, to be honest, because there's some scary stuff out there that would make me go, I'm not going in that place ever again, because what I saw in there or experienced. But yeah, I've done lots of ghost tours, lots of stuff like that. There's been interesting stuff that happens.
Anything you want to share? Any spooky stuff you want to share?
Well, I've experienced several times where when I'm using one of the tools, for the ghost hunters use, having stuff go off, having it just be really centered on me, and then some really great mediums that I've known, and one in particular saying, there is someone right behind you. She's with you right now, and she's there, and you're going to see doves, white dove stuff. And when you see that, you're going to know it's her. And it's going to be at times when you might need her, because it's more of a protective one. And I have had, like I said, when my father almost passed, there were several things that happened to do with a white dove. And I was like, well, there we go. And he pulled through. Miracle. He's 80. He got burned 25% of his body. A lot of 80-year-olds that would kill him, but he's strong. He came back. I think of him as a Superman, because he pulled back out of that. Almost lost him twice, but he came back, and he's back to working and doing everything like he always did. So yeah. And the white dove imagery and things were happening all over. Even a dream he had when he came out was with white doves pulling him back. So it's really interesting. Some of the stuff, I think if you just open your mind to the ideas and then listen and watch, you'll see stuff that maybe we get in our narrow little worlds that you don't see, because you're so tuned into, what my job is, what I have to do every day. I've got to clean the dishes. I've got to do this, that you don't stop and just let's use our extra senses to see what's out there in the world, what's going on. Your gut instinct, how strong that is. If you really listen, to your gut, your heart, all that kind of stuff, it'll lead you in different ways. So it's fun.
Have you ever had a medium or something come across with something that you knew was so genuine, so real that there was no way that it could be fake?
Yeah. One of them, he knew who the ghost was, and he said is my grandmother, this guardian ghost. And he said her name, and it's not a familiar name. And no, he wouldn't know that. Nobody would know that, because I use a pseudonym. So how would you know my real grandmother's name? That's not an original. It's not like Anna or Beth, a very common name. It's a very original name. And he said, this is her name, and this is what she's doing, and she's watching over you, and she says this and all this. And I was just floored. I was in the middle of hosting one of our Deadwood parties, and he's telling me this off to the side, and I'm just like, I got to be a host here, and you're blowing my mind right now. And
that drains you. It does.
Yeah. And my sister was there, and I went over to her and whispered in her ear what was going on, and her jaw dropped. What? And I said, yeah. And he even said her name, and he said this, and this that matches up with, who our grandmother was. And she was just floored. So we still talk about grandma's with me, and my kids will talk to her, because things happen in the house, and they'll be like, oh, hi grandma, such and such, and they'll talk to her. And that's ever since he started telling me this, because I was going in a lot of places with paranormal activity, and he said, you're putting yourself in danger, and she's standing by you, and she's guarding over you and protecting you from these malevolent spirits that are also here. So that was kind of cool. That was really, kind of gave me chills, like, oh, so yeah, I'm always like, we talk great stuff about grandma. She's wonderful. We love her. Thank you for protecting us, keep an eye on us, please.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. When you have that happen, it's almost like a shock, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it drains you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had it just on a show, and I was trying to figure out how to be a host at that point.
Yeah, it really takes you out of you're doing a certain thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait, this is real. This is really happening here. I've got to go stand in front of or do this thing, and my mind is just reeling right now. So yeah, there's been several things like that I've experienced now that, Wow, it's just been amazing. And I feel grateful that I've gotten to have these opportunities because I'm writing. When I go to Deadwood, there's these old historic buildings from the 1800s. And I grew up part of my life in that town and always wanted to go in these old buildings and see them. And now because of what I do, the business owners there and the building owners will let me in so I can scope out the building, learn about it. And it's the biggest treat. I just love this, that I now can go into these places that I always dreamed about as a kid. So I feel very lucky that I get that privilege now.
They'll give you a town key.
We did get something from the mayor 2 years ago. So it's really awesome. Yeah. And the Deadwood people and the whole area, they are just incredible. So supportive. They're in it with me. I just love going there. It's my home away from home here. And I just can't say enough good things about the people of those towns and how much they support, what we do.
Yeah.
Well, you want to tell them where they can find your books at?
Sure. AnnCharles.com. It's just ANNCharles.com. And if you go there, you can go to the books tab and start your way down. You can go click on the links to the different vendors, retailers, or buy them from my store. You can see our online store. But if you want to read reviews, you can head over to Goodreads or all over. I'm like a bad disease. I'm all over. Type in Ann Charles and hit Google search. And yeah, I'm everywhere. So fill in the airwaves.
That's great. Well, we promised we'd only keep you an hour. You're going to have to come back after your trip. I want to know all about your trip down there.
Oh, I can't wait. Yes. Well, and if you follow, I'm going to try to do some YouTube videos down there and some different stuff for Patreon folks and just some pictures for Facebook and Instagram. So if you're following me anywhere on those, you'll see some of the stuff we're doing.
All right. Well, one of the two of us, Harley or I'll get in touch with you when you get back and get you scheduled.
All right.
We won't tell Mickey. It'll be our little secret. So. It's great.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. And have a great night. Tell your husband hello. He needs to stop being so shy and pop in one night.
Yeah, really. He just knows that I run my mouth the whole time. So he just sits there and nods.
Well, we actually had a couple that was a set of authors here recently, and the wife was the one mainly talking and the husband just
Yep, and that's exactly right.
Yep.
And have a great night. Thank you so much. And I still have that information you sent me, and I still need to get something to you. I had some family stuff come up, so I had a death in the family too. So I was kind of sidetracked for like 8 months.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. So
it's rough. So
yeah.
I still got it in my inbox. I'll get it to you.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you the next time.
All right, Ann. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Now it's time to say our thank yous.
That's right. She is great. Yes, I want to make sure to send out all my thanks to WZQR FM in Pine Island. And of course, we can't forget WRFN, Radio Free Nashville. And we love our fans in Australia. Now, I want if you're hearing me anywhere where you can hear my crazy voice, please come over to YouTube and find the Sportcat shows and hit subscribe because, well, we're just better that way. So come over. It costs you nothing. It means a lot to us. And if 10 of you forward this to your friends, you'll win the lottery tomorrow. So there you go. I've got to push a button here real quick to keep us on check. And then I have to follow up with an email to see if Tara got the link. So I'm not sure. So, all right, hold on a second. Let me push. I don't know where the hell the button is.
You're listening to a Dare Media Group radio station. Daring Australian Radio Entertainment. Dare Media Group is the home of these online radio stations: Radio X Gold, Radio X Country, 6RXM Radio X Magic, and Dare Talk Radio. Find out more at daremediagroup.com.au.
That's right. You can find us all over WRFN, WZQR, and in Australia with Dare Talk Radio and Radio X. And as we always do, we have two guests. And Tara is our next guest. She writes young adults, and she actually writes about a topic that is very pertinent to this day and age. So if you have small kids, gather them up and come in here. We're going to talk some fun stuff, but also some serious stuff. Let me bring Tara out here. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Oh, we had some technical difficulties, but we got it.
That's okay, because I was sitting in the other studio from the previous link for 5 minutes, so I also did. So all good.
Well, and I figured you would, because Anne was as well. I don't know what happened. It just died. Like right in the middle of I hit go live, and it went, nope, not doing it tonight.
Okay, it happens. Technology.
Yeah. It always freaks me out, because when I get great guests like you and Anne, I want to make sure that we try and get everybody centered. So especially with yours, with the young adult topic and social media and all the bad things, I want to make sure we get that message out to everybody. In fact, our listeners in Australia, I think, well, it's probably already happened over there, but I think at like midnight, their kids are pretty much locked out of social media.
Yeah, I saw that, like 16 and under, right?
Yeah, they've turned it off.
Yeah.
So, which I don't know if it's good or bad. I mean,
yeah, it's hard. I don't know if like the complete ban. I mean, kids find a way around that stuff, right? They're clever.
yeah.
So I'm not sure what the answer is, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Well, you do write such good stuff, but you also weave the dark in there. And I know you're also a teacher, so you kind of have your field research at your full-time job. So, I mean, literally.
Yeah, they inspire me daily.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah. What age group is it? I don't remember.
Yeah, I teach 14 and 15-year-olds primarily.
Ooh, that's a tough years. So
yeah,
that's tough years. So you've got to be mom, counselor, teacher, and author.
Yeah, I do it all. Yeah. Yeah, they are a tough group, but I will say they are the best. I love that age group. So I think you have to be a little crazy to love them, but somebody's got to do it. So
absolutely. And we thank you. You don't get paid enough. We thank you very much for doing it. As a paramedic, I can tell you, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, well, that's crazy to me, because I could never do that. So
yeah, it's my neighbor we grew up together, and I went off and became a paramedic, and she became a teacher. And so I'm like telling her all the time, I couldn't do that. She's like, you think I could do what you do? And I'm like, I just make it up as I go along.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, we do too. Don't kid yourself.
I'm sure. Well, how do you weave that in though, because like if you were a paramedic, I couldn't tell you a story about something that happened. I would have to say, Bob down the street here fell and hit his head, have to make it up. Fiction. How do you weave your real life into that?
Yeah, so my books are fictional. They're definitely not based on like one kid and their story. But I take like little situations that I see on a day-to-day basis, and I take little qualities of kids that I've seen throughout the years, and I kind of put them all together. So my main characters, they definitely have qualities of kids that I've taught, but like many kids all jammed into one. And thankfully, my newest release, At Least I'm Trying, is completely fictional, and I've never had a kid who has dealt with this, thank goodness, and I hope it stays that way. But definitely they're like mental health experiences and just some of the little things they tell me about what's happening online. I weave that in. And then also, stuff we deal with as teachers, because all that stuff that happens online kind of makes its way into the classroom, on a day-to-day basis. So, what types of things are kids saying online? What are they doing? They make, rumor pages and all these little things that actually happen. I put that into my stories.
And did you Snapchat in this story, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Snapchat is brutal. It's crazy. Yeah. And it actually was, I was inspired. I overheard some girls talking about snap maps. And if you're unfamiliar, it is a feature of Snapchat where basically their real live location is broadcast to all their followers. So they all use this tool so they can keep tabs on each other. But I asked them, like, do people that follow you, are they strangers? Oh, yeah. Like, so they know that you're at school right now and where that school is. So they can see you when you're at home, when you're at volleyball practice. Yep. They had no idea like why that was problematic and why I was kind of like digging for more information. So that's kind of what triggered this idea. It was looking at Snapchat and other tools, other online platforms, and how they're used by predators to find kids.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
I'm so glad kids don't have Snapchat.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, well, they're naive to it. They don't think that. I will say they don't think they're invincible, but they haven't been exposed to.
Well, it's like Roblox too.
Yes, that's a huge one.
The chat feature, I'm glad they made it where you have to age verify now to be able to use the chat feature.
Yeah, because there was a time I don't think you could even turn it off.
No.
It would like had to be on.
You don't know what you were getting messaging you. It could have been a grown man or a woman acting like a child. It was creepy.
Yeah, Roblox was a big one that came up in my research as well.
Yeah, I think it and Snapchat, I think, are the absolute worst. They'll come up with something new tomorrow, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. Now there's all the AI stuff you have to worry about. There's I have unlimited material for future books. Let's just put it that way.
I'm sure. Well, yeah, because you can take a picture and convert it, do whatever you want to it just from a Snapchat. Well, I don't think you can save pictures on Snapchat. But
no, they disappear.
Okay, so like from Facebook. Yeah, if you wanted to save a picture and then put it on or do whatever to it. And I think the kids are naive to this.
Yeah, I think, well, all teenagers, right? They engage in risky behavior. That's actually what they're supposed to do developmentally, is to engage in that risk behavior. And we all did it, everybody. But now with the online tools, it just makes that risky behavior so much more permanent. And it also opens you up to so many more people and so many more dangerous situations because you literally have the world at your fingertips. So kids are continuing to engage in risky behavior, make mistakes, because that's literally their jobs. But now we're giving them the entire world in their bedroom and not helping them navigate that space. And I mean, that's not everybody, but so many kids are just given that phone when they're 10, 11 years old. And here you go. And that's it. There's no, conversation
My
or
kids
tools
were not
moving
given
forward.
phones that can leave the house until they turn 13.
Yeah.
And then, but phone they did have was very limited on what they could do on it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All teachers. Thank you.
And like my son is in middle school,
that age.
He is not allowed to take his phone to school with him. It stays home.
That's so good too. Yeah, it doesn't need to be there. They're at school.
Well, here in Ohio, they have it where now the phones go in these like pouches and get locked up when you go into the school. And like the high school, I don't completely agree with that. But in like elementary school, they don't need phones with the child. The child don't need it. Middle school, if they're like 8th grade, maybe, because my son's in 8th grade, but I still won't let him take his phone to school. But anything that's not high school, they don't need a phone to school with them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. We got a Christian. Can't talk. That's my only job, to talk. We have a question from Chris. I don't know what I was doing. He asked, does Tara feel these kids have generalization in their minds that potential predators are just boomers who don't understand how to use technology? That would be me.
Yeah, I think even when I have conversations with them, they're just, I guess that we did the same thing when we were kids too. Like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand, right?
But
And
it's
I don't
so bad
understand a lot of the
nowadays.
tools they use.
It's so bad
Yeah.
nowadays with predators that we can't even send our kids outside to play by themselves.
Mhm.
And it
Yeah,
wasn't
and
like that when we were kids. Not at
yeah.
all. Like, we were sent
No, I agree.
outside and told to go out and don't come back till the lights come on.
Mhm.
We can't do that now.
Yeah. No, and even at home though, right? I think that's what they don't get to, like, "Oh, I'm just at home. I'm in my basement. I'm in my room." But they actually like, you're giving, predators access to you potentially directly on
I've
your phone while you're in your room.
seen videos on Facebook Reels and on TikTok where these kids were talking to their friend on Roblox, and they gave that friend their address.
Mhm.
And up rolls this adult, this grown man, trying to talk this little kid to come outside.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I saw that too,
And
actually.
the dad's like,
Yeah,
"You're a grown
terrifying.
man." He's like,
Yeah.
"Why are you talking to my child?"
Mhm.
No,
So, yeah,
so
I
that
do
I
think
agree with Scotty. Screen
yeah.
time for kids, I know. Yep, exactly. Like, my
Mhm.
son has it where it shuts off after a certain amount of time on the Wi-Fi and the screen because I don't play with
Well,
that with him.
even as adults, I feel like we struggle with that. Like, I have to put restrictions on my phone. So, as adults, our brains, are fully developed. We have a better understanding of the world and what's happening. We need those restrictions. So, of course, our kids need them too, because they don't have that same understanding that we do.
And their
Well,
brains aren't even completely developed yet, so they don't
No,
really understand that the
totally.
people they're talking to, it's not safe.
Yeah, and like that before, yeah, they do. They're like, "You guys don't get it. You're just, you're boomers, you're millennials, whatever." But again, that's what kids are going to respond. But our job as adults are to say, "Well, too bad. Sorry. This is the way it's got to be because we see those dangers and our job is to protect you." So,
I'm so glad that I don't have kids that age. Unfortunately, I have grandkids that will probably be that age soon.
mhm.
So,
Yeah, yours is little still, so you have like, when he gets bigger, there's gonna be a whole new set of things to
yeah,
worry about that's
Who
gonna be
knows,
worse.
right?
yeah,
Because
Mhm.
it
I,
only
Who
seems to
knows
get
what it'll be.
worse with
yeah,
each
Yeah.
generation.
I
Mhm.
can't imagine kids today going back to our age, and then people our age going back and trying to experience, flipping it. I can't imagine how kids can navigate because it's almost like they're a radio antenna and they're constantly getting bombed with something, whether it's their friend chatting, a text from mom, or there's always something, there's some stimulation. I don't think I could handle it, to be honest with you, because like she said, we went out and played. It's getting dark, lights are coming on, we got to get our ass home if we get in trouble, and that was it. It's so much different growing up now.
Well, and us doing that helped build our immune system growing up. Kids nowadays are more sick than what we were growing up because we were out playing in dirt, building up the germs, all of that.
Parents are older. She goes, I wasn't out doing it. How old are you people?
Oh, I was. I am an elder millennial here. I was outside playing in the dirt.
See, I just turned 40, so I did all that. And
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
drank from the water hose because, well, we weren't allowed in the house.
Nobody had water bottles. What was a water
Exactly.
bottle?
So we built up our immune system. Kids nowadays,
Mhm.
my kids are always got cold, sick, and I'm like, and I'm not. I'm never sick hardly. So I'm like, that's because I built my immune system up and I went outside.
Mhm.
My kids get
Yeah.
scared going outside because they'd rather be inside on their devices. And then what
Mhm.
makes it worse is when you take their devices from them, they think their life is ending and they have a complete
Mhm.
panic attack. And I'm like, seriously, it is not that serious.
Yeah, but they become so dependent on it.
Like my daughter, she's graduating from college, Tri-C here in the summer. And she's going for speech pathology to work in the school system. and do American Sign Language too, because there's a lot of kids who cannot communicate with the teachers, and the teachers can't communicate with the kids because they don't really know sign language that well. And so that's what she's doing. And she's already scared of how codependent these kids are going to be when she finishes college.
The attention spans, I think, are the thing I see the most as a teacher. Just those, like, Instagram reels, the TikToks, the YouTube shorts, they're consistently getting their information in these like quick bite-sized chunks. So getting through an hour-long lesson now compared to when I started teaching 18 years ago, it's wild. Like, you got to change. I'm like an entertainer up there. I'm dancing, I'm throwing music, blah, 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 blah. Like, I never thought I would have to be a performer, but they can't stay focused and keep that sustained attention on difficult tasks because they never do. So it's interesting. That is for sure.
Yeah. I do a news show too. And today we talked about, they call it a cult, but I'm not sure. And it started with Roblox. Is that the name of it?
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah.
And then I guess they talk them into doing something bad, or they maybe use AI. And they've had several that they talked into committing suicide.
Yeah. I think they use sextortion.
Yes. Yes.
And
that is, I mean, even as a paramedic, I see some bad stuff, or have seen some bad stuff. That's horrible to me, but this, like you said, that's the things they're bombarded with. And then, like I said, I don't know how I could have dealt with it. Your main character in your book, she was basically the straight A student, the goody two shoes, you know what I'm talking about. They were the perfect student. And then boom, she got into something. What? Tell us about that. Well, don't give away too much of your book because obviously you'll sell it. But, give us some tease.
Yeah. So I wanted, like, during my research, I came across the fact that, like, victims of like these kinds of situations, they don't fit like a particular mold. It's not, somebody who you look at and be like, oh, well, of course. Like, you'd never know. So my main character, Reese, she is like a star student, a star athlete. She comes from a wealthy home, has a good family. Like, on the outside, everything looks wonderful. But then she meets a new friend and starts to kind of get geared into this new lane, and is introduced to this man from Snapchat who she has no other ties with at all. And that's when things take a turn. So I did that very intentionally because I think people have a vision in their head of who is a victim of trafficking or who is a victim of grooming. And that's just not the case. It can be anyone from any neighborhood, from any home, from any family. So that's why I made Reese the way I did.
And I live here in Atlanta. And Atlanta is one of the number one areas for not just human trafficking, the whole thing, not just children, for the whole thing. And it's one of the number one areas. And being in public safety, one of the nurses I work with, her husband, his entire job is doing what your bad guy does. But he tries to lure the people that are already doing stuff so like he's trying to, like, hey, I got a network of such and such. And I asked him, I said, how do you mentally deal with that when you come? Because it's hard enough as a paramedic, but you're dealing with the most sick people, and you have to, during your day job, so to speak, be one of them. How do you come home like that? How does that not change you?
That would be very difficult. Even just writing some of the things was very, like, it took a toll, like, to put myself in that situation and research those situations. So I can't imagine, like, actually immersing myself in that and, like, contacting those people and having communication with those people. Yeah, I cannot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to sound like beating a dead horse, but those are the sickest of sick people. And a lot of times they're actually very smart. They're not just some, homeless guy on the street. There are those, but for the most part, these people know how to use the technology. They're adult. They know how to manipulate that young mind into doing what they want.
It's like a very prescribed, like everything I read followed a very similar formula almost. They target someone who has some kind of vulnerability. They play to those vulnerabilities, say the right things, do the right things. It all follows a very similar path. So they are smart. They know what to say. They know what to do in order to gain people's trust. So then they can now take it to that next level.
Well, yeah. Now, I'm assuming as a teacher, I can tell you as a paramedic, I've seen it firsthand. Have you seen cases and you're dealing with kids?
Yeah, not for my second book, at least I'm trying. Some of the little things that come up through the book, but the main story of someone being groomed, thankfully, I have not seen that happen to any of my students, thank goodness. But there's news stories, like I'm from Canada. It's on the news all the time, almost consistently of, this happening with this extortion, like you talked about before, and with the trafficking through these platforms. So it's around. I'm just very grateful it hasn't happened to any kids that I've taught.
Atlanta's horrible. And yeah, it's on the news almost every night. And, I got friends that work, like I said, in the professional ones, like you said, they will hone in, and some of them, even the high tech ones, like when they come to your house or wherever you are, they have transmitters in their vehicle that will kill the cell signal, so they can't call for help. They eliminate it. The only one you can communicate now is me. And it's incredible. It really is. And somebody told me that works in a 3-letter agency, the first 48 hours, if the kid gets taken, is critical, because if we don't catch them in 48 hours, they're in Middle East or Asia by then. And I was like, how did they do that? And he's like, you would be amazed. And they are professional. They are slick. And he says, they're not just working one boy, girl, whatever. No. They got like a whole network of them, and they have already pre-sold them, so to speak, to some. And I like I said, I'm sorry. I just can't wrap my head around that, because growing up, it seems like that's the time you're supposed to be a kid and be out and having fun. And like you said, they're vulnerable because they don't know. And we're just old fogies, or whatever the term is,
But I mean, really, it happens to adults too, right? This isn't, just kids. It's anybody who has any vulnerability. Anyone could fall for this, especially if they're not aware or knowledgeable of, what the signs are, which is why I wanted to write the book, was just to have those conversations. Like, this could happen. Everybody has that kind of idea, like, well, it wouldn't happen to me, but it could happen to anyone.
Yeah, it could happen to anybody. Elder abuse. Yeah, that's also a bad thing. So I'm sorry. I know we got sidetracked a little bit off your book, but I feel it's so important what you're talking about. I mean, it's great that you've put it in a format in young adult that can reach them, and hopefully, I guess you've put it in their language, and they can maybe see, hey, this is something I should be paying attention to.
Yeah. And actually the book is very much geared towards adults too. Like a lot of the people who have read it have been parents. And I think that's really important too, because maybe you read it and your kid reads it, and now we just have like a gateway for some kind of conversation. So like, have you ever encountered anything like this online, or had somebody reach out that, made you feel uncomfortable, or, that little voice inside your head telling you something's wrong? Like, has that ever happened? And having those conversations, because Reese has that voice in her head a lot, but she ignores it. She just pushes it away and pushes it away. So, having those conversations to your kids too about trusting your gut. If something feels wrong and something's telling you it's wrong, trust that. It's okay to, hurt somebody's feelings or say goodbye to somebody if you are not feeling like it's right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That intuition. Yeah, exactly. It will save your life. So, but yeah, they're too inexperienced, or psychologically they've been pushed. Are you freezing to death? Good Lord. They've been pushed.
Yes, I'm freezing.
To think that that's what they're supposed to do. That's how they're supposed to.
Mhm.
It's like they're giving them program behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently
Absolutely.
we're freezing Harley to death. So you two are up where it's
Oh.
cold. I mean, it's like 70 here in Atlanta.
Where are you, Harley?
I'm in Ohio.
Are you where? Okay. It's been snowing all day here, so it's getting
Here
cold.
too.
Yeah.
You wear shorts outside today. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be really cold.
Yeah, it would not be good.
Needs to visit mom next week, so I will get my cold then. So
Yeah.
how long of a time span did it take for your student that was doing in the book so well to spiral down? Was it a quick spiraling down, or was it a slow spiral down?
It was pretty quick. So about 2 months start to end is when things really fall apart. But I kind of modeled her off of the perfectionist student. So I've seen lots of these students in my time teaching where they're just kind of told they have to get the perfect grades. You have to get the scholarship. You need to, be on the list to become valedictorian. Like all of these pressure. And everything was going great for her until she started to experience failure, and she was not equipped to deal with failure. And at some point, everybody's going to mess up. So I've seen those kids who just they put that debilitating weight of pressure on themselves. And then when they do fail in some capacity, they don't know how to cope. So that happens to Reese, and that's kind of triggers her downfall. She has multiple failures in a row. And rather than continue on the path that she's on of being this perfect student, she's just I don't want to anymore. And she connects with some new people that lead her down this path. So that's why it happens so quickly, is she's not prepared for that change in her success.
And that's kind of real life. I mean,
yeah.
When you started, did you realize that obviously it's a thriller, but that it was going to interweave so many dark spots? Or did in your research, did it take you to darker spots, I guess?
Oh yeah. My research was like a dark, abysmal hole of terribleness. So I knew it was going to be dark. And then when I was writing, I decided to have a time jump. So you're in Reese's life as she's experiencing these failures, but you jump to points afterwards when she's in her darkest moment where she's been taken. And so that really ups the thriller feel of it, because you're bouncing back and forth. So it's coming. You just don't know how she gets there. And then I also put newspaper articles throughout of other girls who are going missing in surrounding areas. And nobody, again, really pays any mind to it. It couldn't happen to my kids. So they're just these headlines that pop up. So it's going to happen. Something terrible is going to happen to Reese. But you're just kind of waiting to find out how it all comes together. And that kind of brought the thriller piece. And yeah, it's dark pretty early till the end. Sorry.
No. It should be. I mean, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's meant to be. It is a hard read, and that's what some of the feedback I've had is some people had to put it down for a minute and just okay, and then continue. But then everybody at the end is wow, that needs to be read. That was hard, but it was so necessary, because I feel there isn't really anything like it. I read a lot of YA fiction because I teach junior high kids. And there's nothing out there that's addressing those real issues that are happening through their devices. And honestly, these phones are the main characters of most of their lives. So this is their world. It revolves around this device. So it just made sense to me to pull into these darker subjects because it's so real.
Well, seriously, nowadays, cell phones are everybody's main thing for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, exactly. With AI, you can now have a chat buddy,
Hello, Wendell.
It's
well, not just that. You could pay for everything with your phone. You could do everything with your phone now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's everything. So even for
Mhm.
adults, right? And so for kids, it becomes everything. I saw a quote the other day that said, "This is the first generation of kids coming up who will have more of other people's memories than their own." And I was like,
Wow,
"Oh,
that's deep, but
yeah,
true.
like that's terrible."
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. And and I'm sure you've seen it, but a lot of times you'll see all these happy posts and stuff on Facebook, and you're thinking to yourself, they can't always be that happy. They're putting on a front, but they don't realize that, so
Yeah, and for
and
teenagers, they compare themselves to everybody else all the time. That's how they're trying to figure themselves out. That
Well, not even
comparison
just
of like, "Oh,
teenagers.
she's..." No, for sure. They're just a little bit more susceptible to that as they're like
Yeah.
forming their identity, right? But yeah, we compare ourselves to others. So when you see this like highlight reel and you're like, "Oh, but my
I
life
mean,
doesn't
I
look
know
like that."
personally, me as a woman, all those
Mhm.
like magazines, how they have the skinny woman in them that's been airbrushed and fixed and not really
AI.
what they really look like. I still
Yeah.
compare myself to them, even though that's not what they look like, but that's what society standards are. And so,
Yeah.
even as a grown adult, I do it.
Yeah. Well, and now like on Instagram, they have filters and all of the different apps that like their body tune, they change their body shape and figure. And I know, like we know as grown women that that's not real, but kids oftentimes don't. They look at that and like, "Wow, I want to look like that." So that comparison piece is huge.
And do you have all the social media yourself to try and stay like ahead of the kids?
Yeah, I'll play around with it. Actually, that's like I have kids. They're still quite young, but that was one thing a woman told me was before you give your kids a device and give them social media apps, you go on to that app, put yourself in as their age and stay on there for a couple of weeks and see what kind of stuff is provided to you, is shown to you through your algorithm. And it is wild. Like with young girls, within 10 minutes, self-harm, eating disorders, that is fed to them almost immediately.
Like, I know personally, my daughter, when she was in public schools, I had to take her out and put her in virtual schools because she was cutting herself. She got in a really bad group of friends, and now she's an adult in high school, and she has thanked me for taking her out of public schools and putting her in the virtual schools because she would not be where she is today if she would have stayed in that public school.
Mhm. Yeah, I definitely mentioned the self-harm stuff like the cutting because it's almost like the norm for young girls, how many of them do that. And I don't know when that started. It has to have been about 10, 15 years ago where this became almost like just what you did as a young girl. It's unreal how common that becomes. And that type of content gets fed to them too. That almost like glamorizes it. Where
Yeah.
if you're in a difficult situation, right, that can be confusing.
Yeah, as a paramedic, they train us to look for that and identify it when we go to the hospital, like tell somebody.
Yeah.
And I mean, you would be surprised. Even, well, I'll just tell you real quick. When I was 16, I went to stay with my dad on the West Coast, and series of unfortunate events. We'll leave it at that. He cashed in my ticket, and I couldn't go back to where I was from, Mom, in Washington, D.C. And I went in, he took me into the high school and was registering me. And I sat down with the guidance counselor. I said, "I'm not going to be here one goddamn day. I don't belong here." And I explained to him, what had happened, that he had cashed in my ticket. I'm being held here. I don't want to be here. And he's like, "Okay, well, we'll see you at your first day of class." I'm like, "You didn't listen to what I just said."
Mhm.
And so, especially as a paramedic, when I see something, I want to alert somebody. But sometimes they don't even pay attention, even with the elderly, because we see a lot of elder abuse, especially the nursing homes. And we'll say something, they're like, "Oh, okay." It's like they just blow it off. They don't hear you. So frustrating. So frustrating. So yeah, they end. I guess there needs to be more teachers like you, Tara, because there's not a lot of good listeners out there either.
Yeah, I think it's such a complex issue. And I actually do show this in the book too, with parents and with teachers, that the warning signs are all there, that something's going on with Reese, but nobody listens to them and nobody checks in on her and nobody reaches out until it's too late. So it is very easy, I think, for people to ignore those warning signs, or maybe just not know what to do, or not have the resources, whatever it is. Yeah, I definitely will integrated that, because that happens to kids all the time. They're not heard, or they are screaming for attention in some way and people aren't seeing it. They're not paying attention and they fall through the cracks.
And then you see on the news, oh man, I should have seen that, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Every day
Terrifying.
you see that. Yeah, it is. Was this your first book, by the way? I'm sorry. I meant to ask.
No, this is my second book. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
was your first book just purely fictional, or did it interweave some of these things as well?
It interwove the social media piece in a little bit more of like a way that I've encountered myself, very much mental health. So it's got a time travel twist though. So it's called Chasing Through Time, and it's basically two protagonists, one who lives in 2001 and one lives in 2022, because I wanted to parallel life as a teenage girl, 20 years ago versus now, but their paths cross and they become friends. And we see very quickly that the girl in 2022 is struggling so much more, with similar issues, but with the added, burden of social media. She has a sensitive photo shared, at school from a boy. She has a lot of mental health issues, a lot of cyberbullying, things like that.
Wow. Okay. Now are you planning on writing another book?
Oh yeah, I have so many ideas. So I'm on my third YA book right now, which actually is leaning more into like the sextortion realm, because I, like you, have seen those stories everywhere. So I have my first male point of view, a teenage boy, because they tend to be targeted more so with the sextortion. They are definitely the main targets of that. So I'm working through that right now. And then there's actually a character, and At Least I'm Trying. She helps push Reese into her dangerous situation. And I think I'm going to write a story from her point of view, because she is a very interesting, bad character. So I want to kind of get in her head and show what led her to be part of this grooming process.
Have you ever read the book Go Ask Alice?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite book as a teenager. So it all makes sense of why I touch on this dark material. Now that I look back, I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, well, one of our teachers, that was required reading. I think that was in like ninth grade. So, but and the book is stuck
Mine in high school that was kind of on that twisted was A Boy Called It.
Okay, I think I have heard of it.
It was about the little boy whose parents was beating on him and locked him into the basement. And
yes.
And then it came, I remember. It was like another series, A Man Called Something, and then another part of it. Like there's 3 books in that.
Yeah, I think
that book,
kids want to read about this stuff. Like it's hard, but like it's so real. And I think kids want to read these like authentic, issues that are happening in the world.
Kids at home. Well, not even that. There's those kids at home that are going through that same thing.
Absolutely.
They can't say anything at school because of the fear of repercussion when they get home.
Yeah, I think for me, fiction is a way to learn. Like we think of nonfiction as, what you learn through, but I think fiction, like Go Ask Alice, like that book and like my books, they are fictional. And yes, they're entertaining. They have that aspect. They're fun to read, but you're learning something. You're getting so much vital information through that, through reading all of those books.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's still that and Diary of Anne Frank. I mean, those have stuck with me my entire life, so.
And those are real books.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was in high school, my grandmother worked at this elementary school down the street from me. And she didn't work with like regular kids. She worked with the kids who were developmental delayed because of their parents. So, and some of these kids could go home and go to school and tell you where all the stuff that shouldn't be there was hidden. And my grandma saw some horrible things in that school system. Like, it got to the point my grandma had to stop working because it took a toll on her mentally.
Hmm. Yeah, I think as a paramedic, you see those things. As a teacher now, it's becoming more of a reality to see those difficult things, and processing that can be really, really difficult.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's even scarier for you as a teacher now with all the fact that kids are coming in with guns, and that
I live
whole
in
thing is
Canada.
scary now.
Sorry. Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
don't
Well,
have
and
that
here
here.
in the
Sorry.
US, we
I
have that.
can't
And
imagine that.
kids are going.
Yeah.
That's why my daughter, she was going to be an early childhood she was doing early childhood education, but she switched her major because of that. Because
Yeah.
kids are having to have the metal plates in their backpacks for guns, and schools being shot up. Like,
Yeah.
that, no.
Yeah, that's a reality I have a hard time comprehending. I can't.
It's
That's
funny you
scary.
say that, because I'm in a chat group with my old high school alumni in Virginia, and they just recently put in metal detectors in my high school in Virginia, and we're all having like, what the hell? Why is this a thing? In the chat amongst yourself, and we can't believe it's happened there. It's right outside of Washington, D.C., so it's not like it's in a small town, but
Mhm.
it's like it's just hard for us to even comprehend. And it's, God, I've been gone from high school for like 80 years, so, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, so let's try and take a little detour from the dark stuff. What do you do to relax? What do you read? What do you enjoy to relax? Because you've got to get away from this some. I know you do. I do, as a paramedic.
Yeah. Yeah, I walk a lot. So every day I have to go for some kind of walk outside just to like clear my head, especially after a hard day. We do a lot of skiing in Canada. I love to ski. Summertime, we like to be on the water, and I read voraciously, and I'll read anything and everything. I love books. So I do a lot of that.
That's good. Now,
Mhm.
if there was another genre that you could write, just any genre, what would it be?
I'm having a hard time thinking of writing anything but this. I would love to play around with like dystopian. Like, I love dystopian books, and I feel like what the topics I'm writing about could lend to like creating this, this world overtaken by tech or something, and yeah, just create this dystopian society. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. Well, look how much, just from, I'm a kid of the 70s to now, how much things have changed. Imagine somebody born in 2026, down the road, how much things are going to change. Because my son pointed out to me, he goes, I was alive just before the internet, so I know what it's like. He goes, but I've had the internet most of my life. He goes, I can't imagine what my kids, they're going to have it their entire lives. So
yeah, they'll never know.
It's like I was an old man when I finally got it. So.
I remember like the huge computers with the big backs. We'd have to use the dial-up internet if we wanted to do anything.
Yes.
Yeah, like
That's so annoying.
that's how
sound.
so annoying. It's not worth it. It wasn't worth it.
Like,
So you
if
never
you
went
ask
on
a
for a
kid
long time.
nowadays what that sound is, they have no clue.
No,
Not at all.
they would never know.
If you handed them a rotary dial phone and said, "Here, call 911."
Yeah, no. What?
Like the old box TVs that stood that
Yeah.
you could use as a shelf on top of it. No, they don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Flat screens, all the things. They have no idea.
Some ways I'm glad things have changed. In other ways,
Yeah.
I'm like, get off
There
my
are
lawn.
good things. There are definitely
absolutely.
good things.
Absolutely, there are. Like I said, there's other times like, just get off my lawn, leave me alone. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Now. Well, Tara, one of the things, let me back up before I get to that. First off, we are also live on Radio Australia, Dare Talk Radio. And I know the owner of the station is actually the chat. And this does get out to kids in Australia as well. So is there a way in Australia they can get your books?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, so they can get ebooks or paperbacks in Australia.
Okay, good. Well, I always ask because I don't think everybody is yet. I'm still learning my new international audience. So I want to make sure that we spread this out, and he will replay it. Of course, this will be on Nashville radio this weekend, and probably tomorrow night or the next in Florida. So we're gonna get it out there. I want to get the message out there, and I want to help you sell books as well. But I think the message, in addition to selling your book, is just as important. So,
yes,
I hate
that's the goal. That's
on that, but I mean, I really did. When I saw this come up that you were coming on, I was like, great. I was like, I can talk about something I'm passionate about. Is kids and elders as a paramedic. To me, those are the ones that just to say, I couldn't tell you how many times I've run a car wreck, new driver driving mom's car, they've wrecked a car and they're bloody, maybe got a broke arm or something. But with most modern technology, it saves them, thank God. And the first thing they say is, mom's going to kill me. And I always tell them the same thing. I was like, I've been a paramedic for 35 years. I have not run one call where the mom killed them because of a car wreck. But it's still that mentality they have, even for when I was a kid. That was been the first thing I say. And so I don't know, that I want to get the message that you got out there. Okay, now let's ask you a spooky question, because you were warned in the email. Have you ever had any paranormal experiences? Or you live in Canada, maybe you saw Bigfoot?
No Bigfoot. No, not yet. I'm not too far from the Rocky Mountains, but no Bigfoot. And I have a story, but I'm not sure if this actually happened or not, or if I was dreaming, but I remember it very vividly. I was sleeping at my Nana's house and she was out of town. So I can't remember why we were there. I don't know if we were dog sitting or what, but I was sleeping in my Nana's bed with my mom. I was really little. And she had this old wooden wardrobe and it was so squeaky. Nobody else was there. It was just me and my mom. And I couldn't sleep. I remember like laying. So this is where it's like fuzzy. I'm like, did I fall asleep? I don't know. But I was laying under the covers and I heard like the carpet was really thick and you could hear like when people would walk through. And I swear I heard like footsteps walking all the way around to my side of the bed. And I was like buried under the blankets and then it stopped. And then I heard them walk away. And then the creaky old wardrobe, I heard like creak as it fully opened. And then it was gone. And I just remember like huddling under the covers for a long time. And then in the morning, it was wide open. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what it was, but I vividly remember this moment. So I feel like it did.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I believe there's got to be something. Like it just makes sense to me that there would be something out there, maybe not in the sense that we see in movies or whatever, but that energy, right? It's got to be somewhere. So I you hear things about other people who do swear they see, and I feel like it's possible. Why not? We don't know.
No, and the only way we're going to know is when we cross over. So,
exactly.
Energy never stops. It's always in motion. So you're right. We're all just creatures of light energy, really.
Yeah. It can't be destroyed, right? Can't be created or destroyed. So it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, have you ever thought about mixing, I know you said time travel, any paranormal stuff into your books?
I'm not opposed to it. I do love that kind of stuff. Like when I think of horror movies, I don't like the slasher flicks or those types of things. I like a good ghost story. Like that's what really freaks me out. So yeah, I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. Well, you could write one in. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think kids today would come closer to believing stuff like that than, and probably because of TV, than somebody when I was younger, until I experienced things. So because of, like the Finding Bigfoots, the Ghost Whisperer, there's hundreds of them.
So much.
Yeah. So I think the kids
not supernatural, Stranger Things. They all love that Stranger Things. That's a big one. Yeah.
So when I was growing up, it was all comic books. So it was all, superheroes, and, on TV, we didn't have I had 4 channels. So that was it.
Yeah, me too. 4 channels.
Yeah. So one of our friends in the chat here, he has a ghost that he can smell cooking in his old house.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's told that story before, how he could smell the food that they were cooking. So I don't know. I'm like,
I mean, there's worse things.
Oh yeah, much worse.
Yeah, I mean, it smells good.
I would rather have that opposed to, like you see in the horror movies, the blood running down the wall.
Yeah, this sounds like a much better option.
Yeah. I would definitely prefer that. So when will your next book be out?
I'm hoping within a year. So I'm about halfway through the first draft. It usually is about a year-long process. So my goal is about maybe November 2026.
Okay. Now, are you going to have these on Audible, or is that a thing with young adults?
Maybe one day. Yeah. Mostly adults, I feel like, but there are some. Maybe someday. Right now, I'm just going to stick with the paperbacks and the e-readers because that tends to be what most people use.
Okay. What author have you fancied yourself after?
Yeah, so there's 2 big ones. John Green, he doesn't write anymore. He's retired from writing, but he was a YA author, and I just love everything that he wrote. But I would say currently the author that I feel like I'm most similar to would be Kathleen Glasgow. She writes very real fiction as well for YA. Like she deals with things about self-harm and alcoholism, and just again, those like real hard hitting subjects for teens. So she would definitely be like my hero. I love everything she writes. And if I could say I'm anything like her, I would be just lucky to have that talent.
That's great. Now, have you met any of your other authors? Have you met either of them?
No, I wish I would. Yeah, be probably embarrassing, but no, I have not had the. Yeah, I would be a grown woman acting crazy, but no, unfortunately, not yet. Maybe one day.
Brenda says she needs audiobook because she can't read. She has a vision problem. I've got a loyal following in the chat, so
that's amazing.
So Tara, I'm going to put it in the show notes. I'll have to redo the YouTube page. I will put in there where they can find your stuff. Anything you want to plug while you've got 50-some thousand people listening to you?
Yeah. No, I just really appreciate people who take the chance on me. I know I'm a new writer, and people have their like set writers that they tend to buy from. So everybody who's taken the chance, I just appreciate it so much. And I hope people can really see the value in what I'm writing and, take away the subject matter and have those difficult conversations. And, it's my way of facing this issue that seems insurmountable. This is my way of, speaking up and getting the message out there. So I just appreciate anybody who takes the chance on that.
I think you're a great spokesperson for the cause.
I will be definitely getting your books for my kids.
And I will,
thank you.
I will definitely.
Well, I'm an avid reader, and I read all of our guest books.
Oh, so you are the best.
Thank you for the support. She is a avid reader, and I will get a copy for my daughter-in-law and my daughter because I think the oldest grandchild is 5. So
not yet.
Not yet.
It's a little dark.
Well, not to read to them.
Yes, I know. Don't do that. Don't recommend.
I don't know. They've already let him watch Stranger Things and Venom and all this. And pounding my head into a wall. So,
wow.
Kara, thank you so much. I'm going to keep in contact with you because, like I said, I'm passionate about this as well. And I would love to have you back with your next book.
I would love that.
Or maybe just if something pops up in your life that you think is important, let us know. We would love to have you on because I'm a huge advocate for this type of thing. I think you can't tell enough people this. That it's like you're preaching to a wall. So,
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to come back on.
Okay, Great. Hopefully we didn't scare you off. So,
No, not at all.
Have a great night. Thank you for coming on. Thank
Yeah,
you for
you
giving
too.
us your time. I do appreciate it. Have a great night.
Yes.
All right.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. That was great, Harley. And I do mean that. Anybody that has a young adult or is going to have a young adult, find her book, read it. It's really important to us old people that don't understand that the topic that was there. So, and if it's Christmas time, if you know somebody, buy them a book, get it to them, because this is something that hasn't gotten out there yet that people need to know. So, all right, well, we're going to wrap it up, Harley, because we are at the top of the hour, and I'm going to turn it back over to Radio X in Australia. Thank you, everybody. I do appreciate you for tuning in, and I do appreciate your support. Please come over and find us on the YouTube channel. I promise we'll fix this site. We'll get it. I don't know what happened. And I will be tomorrow noon on the Thin Line Rock Station. And then from 2 to 4, my normal Sportcat Daily Gazette, me and Brenda. And next week, Harley and I'll be back with Sportcast. We'll warm up for her. Everybody have a great night. Thank you to all of our listeners. We appreciate your time.